I know that they came in 1939. They have their farms out the community just at Tom's Lake.
Dawson Creek doesn't have a long history by European standards, but it's definitely a colorful one. And being Heritage Week, it was time to have a look, and what better place than the Historical Society?
I'm with the Historical Society, but we're actually down here with the Peace Country Roots Group, which is a genealogy family history group that we started about 1979. And we come down here every year for Heritage Week, and we do a display on family history.
The Sudetens have a lot of family history in the Northeast, arriving in Canada in 1938 and 39 when Hitler was encroaching into Europe's German-speaking areas. The Sudetens were of German-Czech origin and resided in an area which was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They joined the Social Democratic Party, and as a lot of people who were in the position of power were aligning themselves with Hitler, the Sudetens would not. They needed refuge. Canada was open.
Like my mother was a widow with 2 children. We were expendable, and then we didn't know whether we would end up in East Germany or West Germany, but we were put on trains, and then we were just unfortunate enough to end up in East Germany. And so we lived in this small place for 2 years until, and in that same apartment, a man lived who kind of helped people cross the border and showed them where to go. We had to, of course, leave everything behind, and we didn't really have that much. And just looked like we were going for a afternoon stroll, right? I just remember walking and then having to crawl through a wheat field. And as we came out of the wheat field, here there were soldiers. And I remember how scary that was. And they were actually not Russian soldiers. They were German soldiers in the Russian army. And we thought, well, that's it. We're being stopped. Either 1 or 2 of the soldiers had been in the army and were actually prisoners in Canada during the war. And they were treated so well. So then Mom showed them the papers of that we got from up here, from my uncle, that we had to that we were going to Canada, and the trips paid for and all that. I guess they felt sorry for a mother with her 2 kids, and they let us go.
In 1939, on the outskirts of Dawson Creek, which is known as Tom's Lake, the Sudetens had a larger population than Puskapay or Dawson Creek. This is Bert Goulet for Shaw TV in Dawson Creek.